Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony, here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And welcome back to my channel. In today's Pick a Card reading, we're just going to do a blind reading and see what do you need to know today. So I do not believe that you stumbled across this video by accident. There are no accidents, there are no coincidences in this life, you guys. So if this video came across your feed and you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and like and ring that notification bell so you can receive more synchronistic tarot readings. I'm so excited to just dig into the cards today and see what messages you need to hear. It's been a little while since I've done a reading like this, and I know that some of the most popular videos on my channel have been ones where I just use my intuition to pull cards and see what do you need to hear today. But I'm going to need your help. In order to receive this reading, go ahead and take some deep breaths and ground your energy, and then choose the card or the crystal that you feel drawn to the most. Once you have chosen, head down below to the comments or to the description where the timestamps are posted, and you can just click on your timestamp and you'll instantly be fast forwarded to your part in the reading. And I will see you for your reading soon. For those of you guys who choose number 1, let's go ahead and see what your card is. We're doing a blind read here. Just what do you need to hear right now? So we're getting the 5 of Cups. So as you can tell by looking at this card, this is kind of a heavier energy. When the 5 of Cups comes across your path, it's a sign that you might be going through some type of sorrow or loss or grief or suffering. You've probably just been dealt kind of a big blow from the universe recently. This might not be something recent. This could be something from the past for some of you guys that has been coming up at this time. I know for myself personally, at least lately, I've been maybe feeling this energy. I can definitely resonate with this card. It's a time of year. I mean, this is a timeless reading, but at the time that I'm doing this reading, this is like the winter season, the death season, the time of processing and healing and releasing and resting. So I've been talking about that so much on the channel lately just because I want everyone to remember that this is a natural part of the life cycle. Even though it's very difficult, death and loss is a normal part of the cycle in life. Just like when the trees shed their leaves and lie dormant in the winter, that might be you right now, just shedding, releasing, lots of sorrow, a lot of pain. It can be feeling very, very raw. So this is a card that symbolizes deep sadness or loss. And right now you might just be trying to figure out like what exactly has happened here. Maybe this card is symbolizing that you have cut yourself off from life in a way. You might be a little bit lonely and cut off from people, But the thing is this is such a natural process. I just want to reiterate that again. Don't try to hurry or rush or deny yourself this time. Something I say a lot on the channel too, one of my favorite quotes is that depressed simply just means deep rest. But yes, you might have been drawn to this card because you might feel like your life is over, this is never going to get better, but the truth is you do have a lot going for you. You will eventually come out of this time and become aware of the blessings that you do have. This card can also symbolize like this might be the calm energy before the storm. This might be the time where you're resting up and you're restoring yourself, and you're getting ready, the calm after the storm. You're actually getting ready for something amazing. For some of you guys, it could be that a new relationship is actually going to come in, that new friendships are going to come in, that new blessings are going to come into your life that will help bring stability in. You're going to be able to move forward and you will find a new normal for yourself. But right now it just might feel like, you're stuck, and the hard thing is that you can't go back to where things used to be. And it's hard for you to look to the future and think that there's still something worth it. There could be a lot of guilt, remorse, self-blame, feeling like you've done something that you can't take back. You feel like if you could just turn back the clock, if you hadn't said the thing you said or did the thing you did, maybe everything can go back the way it was. You got to trust that the strong emotions that you had at that time, obviously influenced your actions, and that needed to happen it just needed to happen. It is what it is. You have to trust yourself and take responsibility for your actions if you feel like this is something that you caused. But the thing is the hard thing I think about this card is feeling like you can't go back to what was. And you gotta know that what's coming for you in the future, even though you can't see it right now, is going to be so much better than you ever could have possibly imagined. And that is the gift of death. It does change you, it does transform you, it does shift you, it shifts your life. I like to remind people a lot of times when they're facing something like this to also remember if there have been any manifestations or anything that you've been praying for, or a situation in your life that you have just been really longing to change, that there is an opportunity for you to create something new. And sometimes death is the way in which your manifestations will come through. This doesn't happen for me all the times, but a lot of times when I manifest something, sometimes a big death process will happen, a big shedding process, because you have to make room. By the way, for anyone who's wondering, I smashed my nail really bad. I was supposed to put a band-aid on it to cover it up and I forgot, so yeah, sorry. You guys are probably like, what the heck? Okay, I got my band-aid now. I'm sightly now. But yeah, you guys, this sucks, and it's a hard thing to kind of face, and maybe you just were meant to get this message so like that, you're seen, you're heard, you're validated. You don't have to go through this alone. There might be other people who are watching this as well that are going through something kind of similar. I myself can kind of relate to this. It's rough, but I know what comes next. I've told myself, I've made a mental note to remember, like every time I've ever gone down low in life or experienced something like this, I've made a note to remind myself, even journal about it, write about all the beautiful things that will happen in my rebirth period. This is not where your story ends. All of this is not going to define you. You are going to pick yourself up and move forward. Don't pressure yourself to do that right now. That's the message I'm getting, is just sometimes you got to sit with it. Sometimes you just need time to rest and recover. Sometimes you need to lie dormant like those trees, so it's okay. No one said this life was gonna be easy. We're living in a world of contrast, up and down, hot and cold, dark and light, good and evil. We experience and swing from both sides of the pendulum. But I want to pull some cards now to ask, like, just any advice for you, anything that's going to lift you up in this time, anything else that you need to hear while you're here in this healing space with me. So what do you need to hear? Okay, so here's what I'm seeing. First of all, the Create card came out, and you have to know that some of the most beautiful pieces of music, some of the most wondrous paintings, some of the most incredible fashion designs or screenplays were written by people who were going through a really dark time or were inspired from the pain and the suffering. And so, I always say that suffering creates change. And so just know there is change coming from this. And it could be a message for you right now to make use of this. Like I said, sit with it, be with it, rest. But there will come a point where you're going to feel inspired. You're going to get to this point where you're like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm ready to move forward. I'm not going to let that situation get the best of me or that person get the best of me. And there will be a new inspiration that's born out of this. This is just how it works. And so maybe you're already like having some inspiration, or maybe you already know kind of what you're supposed to do. There could have been some talent or some gift that you have, or some idea that's been really laid on your heart. And your guides are saying that the only way through this is to create. And I'll share with you guys that I started this channel when I was going through a period like this, a time of deep suffering in my life. I had just gotten out of abusive relationships and moved to a new place, and a lot of loss had happened in my life, and I just felt like kind of angry but also inspired and restless. And one day I climbed a tree and I just put my phone up in the branch and I just started talking about what I was going through, about what I had learned, and started to read the tarot and just kind of open up and tell my story a little bit. And that created a beautiful new life for me that I could have never imagined. So I know that you're going to create something out of this, and it is hard to deal with the loss of everything that has left your life, and maybe the vision that you had for yourself and your future is kind of shattered as a result. But I actually feel like there's an even greater vision that's coming about. And so really, this is, sometimes I always say when you manifest something, you often get what you ask for and then so much more, or you manifest it even greater than how you originally asked for it. Because sometimes we just can't even conceive of the miracles that are possible in our lives. And so I'm getting this message that you will be creating through this process. A great creation will be born out of you that will be life-changing. And that's what they're saying. A creation is going to come. It's going to be life-changing. I think your guides are saying just be real with yourself. You're dealing with a lot of anxiety right now. These cards, genuine anxious. I think they're kind of leveling with you and being like, what you're going through right now, it's kind of real. There's been a lot that you've had to deal with as a result of what you've been through. You have a lot of regret. There's sorrow. You're heartbroken. Maybe you've dealt with some abandonment. You've had to say some goodbyes. You're in isolation, or maybe it's divorce or a breakup. Carrying a lot of emotional baggage. You've deep anger. Maybe self-blame. And so this is a lot that you're going through. So your guides are saying like, hey, feeling anxious right now, feeling like you need to isolate yourself or just be away from people or whatever, that's a normal reaction to what you went through. And so your guides are like, this is okay. This is part of the process. Be gentle with yourself right now. There's also this guidance for you to find a path that you truly feel like you belong on. If you don't feel like you belong where you're at right now, then it's time to leave. And you need to trust that these anxieties, these emotions, these energies are coming up to try to push you somewhere, to try to push you where you belong. So it might be that these energies are trying to tell you something, trying to tell you, hey, leave that situation, leave that job that doesn't serve you, or leave that relationship, or maybe leave the past behind, or maybe it's something to journal about after this reading, to ask yourself, what do I need to leave behind? And that's going to help you clear energy to bring in these amazing new creations. So I believe in you. I have faith in you. I know that this is going to be the rainbow that comes after the storm. So I hope that this reading resonates with you. Feel free to share what you think about it in the comments below. Maybe you'll find some other people who picked this one who's sharing their story as well. This is a safe space to just talk about life, what you're going through. That was my intention starting this channel, was that everyone could just come together and just kind of talk about life, maybe commiserate a little bit and send each other love. So I'm sending you so much love and light with this reading, and I will see you next time. Peace out. For those of you guys who choose number 2, let's see, what do you need to hear? We're just doing a blind reading today. What do you need to hear? Why are you here for this reading? And we're getting the Father of Cups. So this actually connects with the King of Cups in the traditional tarot. So King of Cups, Father of Cups, pretty much the same thing. And so this card actually has a lot of meaning to it. So I'm just going to let you guys know what my download is, kind of how I'm feeling about it. And it might be that only parts of this resonate with you, so trust your intuition, of course. But this is an energy that is telling you that you are somebody who has natural healing abilities. So if the Father of Cups is coming to you, it's a sign, it's a symbol. You have a lot to offer. You are a natural born healer. You are someone who is really great at giving information to people, giving support to people, being kind and compassionate. You're a peacekeeper. You're a tolerant person, loving, caring. You have deep wisdom to share with people. You might be, maybe you're psychic or intuitive as well. You're a very courteous person, and you're also incredibly artistic and creative. Oftentimes people who have the Father of Cups energy are very musical people, or they're poetic. You know, this is also a card I get a lot of times for people who are teachers or entertainers, maybe actors, singers, or even people who are good at counseling, life coaching, stuff like that. So if any of that resonates with you and you needed to just hear today, yes, go on that path. If you're starting that spiritual business, if you're taking those life coach certification courses, if you're thinking of bringing your artistic abilities out into the light, then this card is coming on your path to tell you, yes, you are going in the right direction. You have these abilities. Move forward. You're meant to help other people. Trust yourself. Trust yourself for sure. So the message as well with this card, the thing is that I'm getting this vibe like you are somebody who is very sentimental. And, you know, you've worked really hard in your life on having boundaries with people. This is a message that it might be time for you to open your heart up again, you know, because I feel like in the past, this side of you that was wearing your heart on your sleeve, that was being so forthcoming, being so romantic, being so open, that's the side that kind of burned you, but it's also where your power lies. So this could be a message to reconnect with this side of yourself, open your heart again. And we can't deny the love connection that this card has, because the Father of Cups or the King of Cups is a very romantic energy. So this could be a symbol to you that you're ready to date again, that you will be connecting with somebody special, that you will find love. It might be hard because you've always been someone who's kind of idealized romantic relationships. You always want to be swept off of your feet. Perhaps you've attracted some narcissists because you have such a kind, caring nature. It's never your fault that someone's going to come and, you know, narcissistically abuse you, or someone's going to come and love bomb you or whatever. But you have been susceptible because sometimes these people see, oh, here's someone with such a loving, open heart. Here's somebody who's a healer and has such a bright, shiny energy. And so, of course, they're going to come at you because those energies and emotions that you have, narcissists will thrive off of that in order to garner their narcissistic supply, which is, you know, they basically get supply or get high on causing you pain and suffering and gaslighting you and all that stuff. So, not sure if that resonates with everyone who's here, but maybe you're someone who has gotten out of toxic relationships or has attracted narcissists, and you've been on your own for a little while, and maybe for a little bit there you got kind of jaded and you thought, you know, love isn't real. Maybe I'll just have meaningless hookups, or maybe I'll just try to be chill, or maybe I won't ask for too much, or maybe I'm going to shrink back in connections or close my heart, or maybe I'm just going to be single, or you know, just be on my own for a while. But your guides are telling you that there is someone special for you out there that you're currently aligning with now. You've spent your time healing. You've educated yourself on, you know, abuse, or on maybe working on increasing your divine feminine energy. You've been working on self-love, and it is time to open your heart. And you will be protected. You know, you got to trust yourself that your boundaries are stronger now. And unfortunately, there is no guarantee that you won't attract another narcissist or another crazy person. You know, it's not a guarantee, but you can trust yourself that you've learned from experience. And, you know, it's never your fault that you're abused. It's never your fault that those things happen and those relationships or those people hurt you, you know. But you can't let them take the best side of you. You can't let them take the side of you that's so soft and so sweet and so kind and so nurturing. You know, this has a lot to do with the divine feminine energy. But you see the masculine aspect, the father, I think they're telling you that there's great strength in this nurturing, healing side of you, and that you don't have to shut it off anymore. There's this message too that you could be suffering from creative block or writer's block, creative blocks or writer's block. That's a tongue twister. There's this message that, for some of you guys, you might be working in a career that just does not suit you and does not give you any joy. So you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling unhappy. The message here is that you need to use your artistic and your creative side in order to feel fulfilled. So this might mean that, maybe start with some baby steps, like just opening up your creative energy again, maybe through writing or journaling or painting or a little bit of dancing. Start getting those juices flowing again, maybe through creating a vision board. And from there, those ideas are going to come back. Those blocks are going to come back. It might start with just like a little bit of discipline of having to every day, just 15 minutes, draw or doodle a little bit, or make that time for yourself again. Use your hands, create something. But before you know it, you're going to get all those creative downloads. And the Father of Cups is telling you that, yes, you can create a business for yourself, or you can create a career path based off of your art, based off of your gifts. That you don't have to sell your soul or do something kind of meaningless forever. Now, I think it's important in life to be responsible. Sometimes you choose to take jobs that are, kind of basic or maybe not a good fit for you. Just because it's a job, you need the money, and so that you can maybe save a little bit or invest in yourself. But that's the importance, is to keep it moving. Don't get stuck in the system. Don't get chained to that desk, especially if you're an artist. You might be looking around and other people seem complacent or they seem happy. And that might be because they're just on a different path than you. Maybe they're not an artist. They don't have this type of energy that you do. And so don't be fooled into thinking that you have to do what everyone else is doing. Don't give up on those big dreams. The only reason you haven't accomplished these dreams yet is just because you haven't been consistent. You haven't given it time. It's not because you failed, or it's not for you, or it's not possible. It's totally possible. I think you know what you have to do. You got to make time for this. You got to be consistent. You got to organize your life. You got to work on your health so that you have energy. For some of you guys, this is telling you this is kind of a wake-up call that you need to really start thinking about finding careers that allow you to be creative. Maybe even switching your day job to something that allows you to be just a little bit more creative. It doesn't need to be your dream job, especially if we all got to start somewhere, is what I'm trying to say. But really working on that, because your creativity is so important. And you have no idea what I see in your future. I mean, it looks absolutely incredible. You're definitely going to be thriving based off of your artistic skills, based off of these gifts that you have, this beautiful energy in you. So, another thing that this card can represent is, it could represent that there is somebody really incredible coming into your life, or maybe someone who has just entered your life. Somebody who is, of course, very romantic. Somebody who is very calm, non-judgmental, chivalrous, faithful. Somebody who's very charming coming into your life, it's a confirmation that you're about to connect with a love match, or that you're going to enter into a relationship. For some of you guys, this could be confirmation. Yes, the person that you've been dating, who has that bright, shiny energy. This is special. Like, you're getting this card because it's like talking about them and your connection together. You guys are going to move forward, especially if this person has been actively pursuing you. Now, this is just someone you're imagining in your head, or like somebody that you have a crush on. I don't know about that, but this is someone, I get a message for a couple people who are here. This is someone who has been pursuing you. They've been really romantic. They've been taking it kind of slow with you, and like that it's safe to open your heart, trust yourself. So a lot of downloads with this message. You guys are going to have to tell me what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for coming to my channel today. I'm sending you so much love and light with this reading, and I will see you next time. Peace out. For those of you guys who choose number 3, let's go ahead and get your message. So this is a blind reading, just whatever you need to hear right now. And we are getting the Strength card. So this is a beautiful card. It is one of my favorite cards in the entire tarot. So when the Strength card comes across your path, it represents, of course, strength. It's possible that your inner strength is really being put to the test right now. Like sometimes when I pull this card and I'm like asking about what's coming in my future or what do I need to focus on, when I pull this card, I'm like, oh crap, what exactly do I need strength for? So, maybe you're going through a situation that's kind of rough right now. Your guys are saying your strength is definitely being put to the test. You're being told, don't react to this situation. You're just being reassured that no matter what's going on, no matter how dreadful this situation is, you do have the inner strength to be able to handle the situation and survive through it. The strength card asks you to feel the fear and do it anyways. It's also possible right now that you're being called to question where your strengths lie. It might be time for you to examine the areas of your life where you have strengths and how can they best be applied to your life. So sometimes this card is telling you that the next step forward for you is to ask yourself, what are your talents? What are your gifts? What are your strengths? What are the things that you're good at? And if you don't know, I would say that the best thing you can do is really spend some time writing and journaling, maybe going back to childhood or when you were younger, because people tend to really gravitate towards you for your strengths. For instance, my friends were always coming to me for advice with their with their boy problems and girl problems and stuff like that, or just because they knew I was a good person to just listen to them and commiserate with them. I was always that friend that I would just talk for hours and hours on the phone with my friends, just listening to them, lifting them up, putting a smile on people's faces. I've always enjoyed that. So people also came to me for fashion stuff or to do their makeup or get ready together before we go out, that kind of stuff. So, it might be something small. You might not realize, oh my gosh, I have a gift in this area until you look back and realize these are the kind of activities I always enjoy doing with my friends, or maybe even activities you enjoy doing by yourself. I used to hang out by myself in my room a lot and make a lot of collages and art stuff, and those are some strengths of mine. So what is it that you naturally gravitated towards as a child? Maybe people were always asking you in class, hey, can you help me finish this drawing? Or I'm having trouble shading this thing. Can you help me shade this? Or maybe in pottery class, people were trying to ask you to help make sure their clay didn't have any bubbles, or I don't know, it could be something little, but those are all little clues. So it might be time for you to start getting these little clues together and then putting the pieces of that puzzle together to ask yourself, what are some of my strengths? And you don't necessarily need to narrow it down to just one thing. I think that's the thing that overwhelms people so much, is they always think when it comes to a career path or a life purpose or a focus or finding a passion, that it has to be just one singular thing. And that's what causes a lot of panic, because then you get stuck and frozen for years and years and years sometimes, because you're worried, if I choose this thing, am I going to have to give up on all these other sides of yourself? And I'm here to tell you, no, you don't have to just choose one thing. What you do does not define you. I'm sitting here doing a tarot reading. I'm a life coach and a tarot reader, but that doesn't define me. I have a lot of things I do outside of this. I have other career paths. I have other passions I'm pushing forward. And, sometimes you do need to narrow it down though and focus on just one thing, so that you can stay consistent with it, so that you can get momentum, so that something will actually move forward for you and you can bring in some opportunities. And then, once you get that ball rolling really well, then you can work on the other project, or you can put time into the other things you like. So sometimes a little bit of sacrifice is necessary when you go on one path. I myself have had to sacrifice some of my fashion goals. I used to have a career as a fashion stylist. I had to quit that to focus more on this. But that doesn't mean that side of me is dead, or that I'm not going to move forward with that in some way in the future. It just means this is my priority right now. So lots of examples from my life, just because I understand what it's like to be a creative person who feels kind of put in a corner. Maybe the problem isn't that you don't know what your gifts are. It could be that you just have so many gifts, so many things that you like, that you're feeling overwhelmed. So your guides are saying it's important to look at your strengths. It's important to trust your heart and just go with what you feel inspired with right now. Stay consistent. Consistency is key. So another message that I'm getting is some of you guys right now might be standing up to somebody who's a bit of a bully within your life. I don't know if this is like toxic family, or perhaps it's like a coworker or your boss, or a situation in which you feel like you're being oppressed or bullied. Maybe you're standing up to the man and the system in some way right now to make, choices that are right for you despite what everyone in the status quo is doing. It could be symbolic like that, something big or small, but your guides are telling you that you, through this process, you're discovering the power within. And, it's been hard for you lately to control the anger and the rage at this situation. But I do see that you are actually creating something, amazing out of this. You're learning to set boundaries. You're learning that, only the best people and situations deserve a seat at your table. And this has been a long time coming. So your guides are just saying you have the strength to draw these boundaries. You're such a kind, empathetic, compassionate person. And, you tend to overthink when you have to say something or stand up for yourself. But I get this feeling that you're done being a doormat and you're ready to show your teeth. And so that's why you get this symbol of this lion, because, it can be gentle, but it can also be fierce. And that's you. That's like your spirit animal right now. I'm going to also say that I see with this card that this is a symbol also that you're moving on from a period of time where you were just having to face a lot of your fears, like constantly. All these fears you're having to face, you had to have a lot of strength. You had to face, some difficult times, and your guides are saying that through this, you accepted your shadow self. You acknowledged it, you embraced it, you learned how to keep it under control, you learned not to deny your shadow. You can't cage that animal within. And sometimes when you face your fears, like that puts you in touch with that more primal, animalistic kind of aspect of yourself and the shadow side. And I feel like some of those energies in you were being brought up so that you remember that you're not just here to live love and light and happy and peace. I mean, you can have all that, but you also need to temper the ego, understand the ego, create a place for it, make friends with it, realize that it's there to kind of show you where your edges are. And I get this vibe from this card that at this point, the sun is shining on you. This is a really positive symbol here, which connects to the sun card in the tarot deck, which symbolizes a time of prosperity and abundance and, opportunities coming in. It could be that that's what's just around the corner for you, almost a reward for the strength you've had, for the efforts that you put in. The universe is definitely going to mirror back to you the result of all these changes that you've been creating, with the boundaries you've been drawing and the good choices you've been making. So they're just telling you to hold tight, have strength, have faith, trust yourself. Good things are just around the corner. So I hope that this message resonates with you. A lot of downloads with this one. You guys are going to have to let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Does this resonate with you? Let me know, and I will see you next time. Peace out.